Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive into Malibu Express, the 1985 action-adventure flick that kicked off Andy Sidaris' Wild Bullets, Bombs, and Babes series. I'm Bria, and today we're unpacking this cult classic, where Private Eye Cody Abilene, played by Darby Hinton, fumbles his way through a case of espionage, Russian secrets, and blackmail, all while surrounded by a glamorous cast, including Sybil Danning and a slew of Playboy playmates. With its over-the-top charm and signature mix of bullets, bombs, and, well, babes, this film set the stage for Sidaris' iconic 12-movie run. Let's get started.
Before we dive into Malibu Express, we need to go back to the man who created the Bullets, Bombs, and Babes series that would run from 1985 until 1998 and feature 12 entries that were equal parts action-packed and puberty-inducing if you saw these as a young teen, as they featured a bevy of buxom beauties straight off the pages of Playboy and Penthouse magazine. Andrew William Sidaris was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1931 and grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, where he attended high school, playing both quarterback and halfback on the Byrd High School football team. He went on to graduate from Southern Methodist University with a Bachelor of Arts degree in speech and theater. Sidaris launched his television career in 1950, starting as a stage manager at WFAA in Dallas, Texas, and swiftly advancing to the role of director within 6 months. In 1959, he relocated to Los Angeles to join ABC Sports, where he began overseeing AFL football broadcasts in 1960. The following year, in 1961, he helmed the inaugural broadcast of the Wide World of Sports. Additionally, Sidaris directed Monday Night Football games and managed ABC's coverage of every Olympic event from the 1964 Winter Games in Grenoble through the 1988 Winter Games in Calgary, earning multiple Emmy Awards along the way. While directing college football games on ABC, Sidaris pioneered what became known as the honey shot. Close-ups of cheerleaders and attractive female fans in the stands at sporting events. Andy apparently always had an eye for talent. But to his credit as well, he also was at the forefront of the development of instant replay, slow-motion replays, and split-screen views. In 1973, Sidaris expanded into film, directing the exploitation picture Stacy, followed by the action film Seven in 1979 as far as the big screen went. For what it's worth, having watched Seven a couple times, it is an excellent movie. Sidaris played it straight through that movie. It's a hard-nosed action, beautiful women, but not the level of camp that we're about to receive from the Bullets, Bombs, and Babes Lethal Ladies series. Darby Hinton plays Cody Abilene, a womanizing private detective who's assigned the task of investigating who is behind the high-tech computer technology leaks to the Russians. Cody lives on his yacht at the marina and drives a DeLorean, and he totes a long-barrel .44 Magnum he can't shoot to save his life. The Abilene name remains a part of the loosely developed mythology that runs throughout the series to a certain point via characters we're introduced to in subsequent entries. Art Metrano, best known as Mauser from Police Academy 2 and 3, plays an over-the-top henchman who has some funny scenes and bits of dialogue. One of his fellow baddies, Luke, was played by professional bodybuilder John Brown, who happens to be the father of Detroit Lions star wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. Sidaris filled out, pun intended, the rest of the ladies in the movie with a myriad of beauties, including Shelley Taylor Morgan as Anita Chamberlain, Lori Sutton as Beverly, the female police officer, Lorraine Michaels as Liza Chamberlain, Linda Weismeyer as June Knockers, the stock car driver, Kimberly MacArthur as Faye, Barbara Edwards as May, those are the girls on the yacht next door, and incidentally, Barbara Edwards' appearance in Cody's shower is cited as one of the hottest topless lesbian shower scenes in the long, hot tradition of lesbian shower scenes. Also, we have phone sex operator Sexy Sally. She was played by Suzanne M. Regard, and hot female photographer Rodney was played by Janine Vargas. Talk about a visual sensory overload, and we'd only see this trend ramped up as the series evolved over the course of the next 13 years in 12 installments. The exteriors were shot in Beverly Hills, California, around Los Angeles, such as Sunset Boulevard, Willow Springs Raceway, and the Mojave Desert were also the sets used for Malibu Express. Malibu Express as a movie is an absolute good time guaranteed. Whether you're watching it alone or with a group of friends, possibly enjoying some libations, or if that's not your thing, maybe some recreational substances, if legal in your area. Because it'll only heighten the sense of fun you're going to have with this action-adventure romp. And I know what you're thinking. You've been going on for 5 minutes. Well, we had to set the scene. We had to set the background, let you know who's responsible for this wonderful work of cinematic art that we are going to start talking about right now. We start with the visual of a woman sitting down and typing on a computer, which serves as our introduction and title screen. The credits appear in an incredibly dated font and style, but they work surprisingly well with the undertones of the country music title track. After all, Cody Albaline is a cowboy through and through. Our first glimpse of Cody comes as he pulls into the facility parking lot in his red DeLorean, complete with butterfly doors, of course. He steps out wearing a deliciously 1980s pair of sunglasses and a mustache, looking like he's headed to a Tom Selleck convention. With a cow-spotted briefcase in hand, he's at a firing range with his gear. And needless to say, the trope of the Albalines having terrible aim is born in this very scene. Cody attempts to hit a moving target, missing every shot with complete ineptitude until he actually shoots the arm system that moves the target, causing it to short out. He blows the imaginary smoke away from the barrel of his hand cannon and says,
"See you next week, John."
I can hardly wait.
The next scene opens with a stock car rounding a corner on a racetrack as Cody stands by, watching alongside a lovely young female photographer. The driver, a beautiful woman, takes Cody to the locker room and promptly strips right in front of him. She asks what he thinks, and he replies, "They're dynamite." She smiles coyly and clarifies, "I meant the driving." Sidaris wastes no time letting the audience know that Cody possesses the
cavorca, the lure of the animal.
Cody then gives each of the girls a kiss, very chivalrous of him, as he peels off in his red DeLorean. Cody then monologues into his tape recorder, revealing that he's a private investigator to the audience, of course. He returns to the marina and his boat where he resides. Some angry yacht club members approach him, displeased with his doorway entrance to the vessel. We learn that his dad has an all-female racing team that lost 4 times in 6 days on their sailboat. No comment. On his luxurious yacht, Cody goes below deck and returns to find 2 attractive women, Faye and May, to which they inquire if they might use his shower. Next, we're introduced to Sybil Danning's character, Contessa Luciana, whom Cody will soon cross paths with. She enters a room full of computers and receives news that the Russians are 5 years behind us in computing technology, yet they keep stealing our innovations right out from under us. She's informed that Cody will be assisting her. Meanwhile, Cody has Faye and May in his shower together, and we're treated to Andy Sidaris' signature gratuitous nudity. He tells the girls to run along as Douglas Wilton, the yacht club complainer, has paged him and instructed him to meet Contessa and get to know her. Cody arrives at Contessa Luciana's house in his DeLorean, bringing a gift for her as he enters. Luciana answers the door in a robe that barely conceals anything. Cody takes a seat while Contessa changes into the dress that he bought her. Odd that he would know her size, but anyway, and they head out for dinner and dancing. Later, they engage in an intimate encounter. Afterward, he asks her to fetch him a glass of water. Contessa explains that she didn't invite him over just for sex. There are some matters she needs to bring him up to speed on. The next morning, Cody is back at his yacht, seemingly preparing to leave for work when Faye and May try to catch his attention. They're fishing in their bikinis from the spot next to his, begging him to come over, but he's preoccupied with thoughts of Contessa. Before he can respond, his rivals, the Buffington family, show up, eager to challenge Cody to a race. Cody recounts the history of the rivalry between the 2 families and how long it's been simmering. In the end, Cody's DeLorean is outpaced by a Pontiac Fiero, and the Buffingtons celebrate their victory. Cody pulls into a mechanic shop and trades his DeLorean for a Ford LTD before heading to Lady Lily Chamberlain's home in Bel Air. He's been invited to stay at the house for a few days while working on the Wilton case. The butler, Shane, is very rude to Cody, a detail that would become significant later. Lady Lillian Chamberlain instructs Shane to fetch Cody's bags, but he's preoccupied making out with Lillian's niece. We learn that Lady Lillian has a habit of using a bullhorn to locate people. That niece, Anita, is one involved with Shane. And Cody remarks that her husband, Stuart, seems a bit effeminate. Liza, another niece, asks Cody,
Well, what do you usually make for dinner?
Reservations.
Very.
Cody takes his leave and goes to meet another knockout blonde named Beverly. She's a female police officer. They head to the gym, where Cody spends most of his time staring at the attractive women. Meanwhile, two incredibly muscular meatheads on the other side of the gym start talking trash about him. Hey, that's not gonna fly at Planet Fitness, Buster. Cody then wonders what's happening back at the Chamberlain estate. We then cut back to Anita performing some kind of aerobics routine in a negligee with her breasts exposed. Have I mentioned Andy Sidaris was a god amongst men? Then we shift to Liza Chamberlain in the shower, where she's joined by the butler Shane, who essentially assaults her until she relents. What she doesn't notice is he set up a camera in the bathroom. He finishes, giggity, grabs the camera, and thanks her as he leaves. Only then does she get angry because she noticed the camera. Anita's husband, Stuart, watches Shane exit the bathroom, and Anita catches him peeping. Out by the pool, Cody's taking a dip and offers to help Liza with her crossword puzzle. Maid Marian brings out lunch, and she's an odd character. Cody offers Liza a ride to Palm Springs. Liza informs Cody that Anita is sleeping with Shane in the pool house, and we see that Shane is recording the encounter for blackmail purposes. On the ride to Palm Springs to meet Jonathan Harper with Liza, Cody questions her relationship with Harper and exactly how it is he sells his computers. We see Anita getting into the shower and Shane swapping out his lascivious recordings. Liza and Cody go to meet with Harper, and the goons from the gym show up and immediately start talking shit to Cody. Harper has his brood of baddies follow Cody and they pull him over. Cody manages to hit both of the muscle-bound idiots, but the third guy, Art Metrano, shoots up his car while forcing him to watch after Cody punched him and Art had a vest on under his shirt. Then they abandon him, stranded in the Mojave Desert. Cody eventually makes his way to a junkyard, naturally run into by a hot cow who immediately strips. They hook up and Cody leaves with a new car. Cody returns to the Chamberlain house and his monologue is humorous as he reflects, "That was a lousy trip to Palm Springs. I got my ass kicked, my loaner car was shot up, and I got raped. Well, at least it had a happy ending." Next, we're taken to a man getting a massage from a topless woman, because of course we are. And this is the bookie that Shane owes money to, and he's threatening Shane because he owes him 30 large. This explains why Shane has been collecting all these videos for blackmail purposes. Anita calls him a sleazeball, and he retaliates by calling her husband a derogatory term for a gay man. Then plays one of the tapes of them together and shows pictures of them in bed. Cody has been eavesdropping outside the window the entire time. Anita refuses to listen any longer. There's a party at the Chamberlain estate and Sybil Danning looks amazing as usual. Harper is discussing business with Lady Lillian and Liza listens. And Lillian hints that his interest extends beyond the financial realm. Maid Marian is being harassed by a pair of Harper's goons. The man Shane owes $30,000 to arrives because he runs the catering company. Shane calls the main house from the pool house, pretending to be Stuart's boyfriend, and tries to extort him once again. But Stuart refuses once more and hangs up. There's a brief moment before Shane hangs up the phone when he looks angry and he mutters,
Faggot.
Suddenly, the bookie gangster that Shane owes the money to bursts in. Unable to decide whether to hold Shane at gunpoint or knife point, he opts for both, slashing Shane's face in the process. This leaves Shane with a noticeable cut on his cheek. Meanwhile, Liza and Anita are chatting, and Liza says,
Did you hear that she got raped this afternoon by two homosexuals? One held her down and the other one did her hair.
As the guests begin to leave the Chamberlain estate, Shane is forced to escort Lady Lillian to bed. He then returns to the pool house, plays the tape of him and Anita together, and starts to change out of his fantasy island outfit, resembling a normal-sized tattoo, of course. A masked assailant stabs him in the gut, but Shane manages to snap a picture before being shot twice. Clutching the TV, somehow he stumbles and crashes through the French doors into the yard. Cody and Luciana are poolside, and they're kissing when Cody notices Shane's body in the grass. He tells Luciana to leave before the police arrive. Maid Marian is sneaking around the pool house and spots Anita inside talking to Cody, who caught her rifling through Shane's belongings. Cody finds marks that proves the drawer was forced open. Cody dials a 900 number and speaks with Sally, who's engaging in some risque phone conversation from the Chamberlain house. Cody takes the film to be developed, and his friend Beverly arrives with another detective, a stereotypical hard-boiled cop named Detective Arledge, a real tough egg. The developed pictures of Anita surface, and Lillian shames her for them. Meanwhile, Cody and Beverly head to the Chamberlain beach house to search for clues, but they end up hooking up instead. Cody shows Beverly the recording system installed in the house. They hide in the shower when one of the baddies arrives. Beverly shoots him after Cody misses, then takes down another outside after Cody misses again. Marion had tipped off Harper about Cody and Beverly's presence. Cody leaves to return to his boat while Beverly prepares to call the lieutenant. Cody runs into the Buffington family again after stopping off for peanut brittle candy bar. He's beaten in another race, but it's the Buffingtons' post-race taunt that proves the most humiliating, though it's unclear for whom. When Cody returns home, Harper's homies show up at the yacht, and this scene is hilarious. Faye and May are waiting for Cody. He shoots the fat guy in the ear, then chases him out. Luke comes in and tells the girls that he's pissed off and leaves, and no one gets any sleep that night. Beverly calls to inform Cody that they arrested Stuart Chamberlain. Cody mentions the film to her, and Beverly insists that she wants it. Faye and May enter, bringing Cody coffee and putting on a baton twirling show. Cody calls sex line Sally and asks her to connect him to June Knockers. This guy has a Charlie Sheen-like Rolodex, I swear. Finally, Cody gives in and takes Faye and May to Pound Town, where he's the mayor. Maid Marian tips off Harper that Beverly and Cody are heading to the racetrack, but they're closely tailed by Harper's 3 inept asshole goons. Cody manages to shake them, causing the henchmen to miss their exit. June is a bit displeased when Cody arrives with Beverly in tow. Together, they go to meet Rodney, the pretty brunette photographer from the beginning of the movie, to get her to develop the film. Harper's henchmen shoot at Beverly, and they hit her, but it's only a flesh wound. A chase ensues around the track, featuring a shootout where no one gets hit, kind of like G.I. Joe. The henchmen shoot a guy on a bike who's played by Christian Drew Sidaris, Andy's son. Cody and June jump into her race car and speed off. Harper's men strong-arm a helicopter pilot into chasing Cody and June. It's comical when one of the henchmen threatens the pilot, and John points out, "Who's gonna fly if you shoot him?" Meanwhile, June, frustrated that Cody won't smash while driving, starts taking her clothes off in the car. She remains completely oblivious to the helicopter until she suddenly notices it. The chopper flies ahead, landing on the highway to block Cody's escape. As they pass a Winnebago, they meet its driver, played by Andy Sidaris in his first cameo. The chopper lands and the henchmen disembark, but the pilot declares, "Screw this, I'm out." He bails. Cody runs over to the heavy-set henchman, triggering his hand grenade and killing him in the explosion. The 2 remaining meatheads pursue Cody and June through the desert. Cornered, June distracts them by, you guessed it, flashing her tits, giving Cody the chance to shoot John in the side with his .44 and hit the other henchman in the leg with the shotgun. Both survive their wounds. Cody and June then hitch a ride with Andy in his Winnebago after June flashes him too. Andy delivers his lines with gusto, clearly relishing the sight of her chesticles. Cody calls Beverly, who's at the doctor's office getting patched up, and he sends June along with her impressive assets to pick up some .44 Magnum hollow points before his next stop. Meanwhile, Harper is hosting a party, but playing the Anita and Shane sex tape on loop fails to impress Liza Chamberlain, who voices her disgust. Cody bursts in. Shortly afterward, Lieutenant Arledge and Beverly arrive. Cody hands over the photos, leading to the arrests of Harper and Liza. On the way to his boat, Cody is stopped by the Buffington family, and he accepts a challenge to race Bobo again, but this time, Cody has an ace up his sleeve. The race sequence is hilarious, as it's a Camaro versus a small Oldsmobile compact, which Cody presses a button to reveal a huge pair of pipes and quote-unquote boosters, which is an empty propane tank painted black and strapped into the back of the car. He leaves Buffington's enraged and stinging from defeat. Cody calls sex line Sally and confirms that she gets his guests set up on his boat, which is our final scene, where Cody reveals Liza is also in attendance, and he breaks down all the events of the movie that we didn't see in some extra scenes. Cody realized Contessa Luciana shot Shane because the killer was right-handed and Liza was left-handed. Contessa left a message for Cody.
Cody, by the time you hear this, I'll be in Hawaii. I did leave you some obvious clues. At the Chamberlain house after the party, it was easy for me to give you a sleeping powder. Then I went downstairs to Shane's room and killed him. I disguised myself as Liza in case I was spotted. Shane took a picture of me before he died. I purposely pried open his drawer from the right side. Then I intentionally took the wrong camera. I counted on you to figure out that the person in the picture was not Liza. Shane was about to ruin the lives of people I love. He was also a traitor and a threat to our national defense. He was Jonathan Harper's courier to the Russians. I'm not just another pretty face. Of course you will keep it confidential that I work for the government, specifically Douglas Wilton. Douglas and I planned Shane's elimination.
After playing the message, the tape and the mask Contessa wore automatically dissolved. Lady Lillian tells Cody he's a wonderful cowboy who'd help any woman in distress. And he has a moment where we flash through a highlight reel of gratuitous nudity from the film. As the boat leaves the dock, we're treated to that sweet country soundtrack.
Yes, ma'am, I would.
Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen it a handful of times, as I have pretty much all the movies in the Lethal Ladies, Bullets, Bombs, and Babes series. Darby Hinton put in a great performance. It was fun. Sybil Danning, the same thing, absolutely gorgeous. Andy Sidaris, he knew how to write fun movies and give people that enjoyment. And at the time, you know, you got to show the skin to win in these B movies, and Andy was a master of that. So I hope you enjoyed this comprehensive look at Malibu Express from 1985, written, directed, produced by Andy and Arlene Sidaris. Thank you, folks. If you liked the video, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, all that fun stuff. Share the video far and wide, and be sure to come back next time because we will have another action flick featured right here for you.